Welcome back. This is Mold of Steel, and today we thought that we would go through and go ahead and give you 10 common mistakes that many eBayer sellers make. So the first one is incomplete or inaccurate listings. So it's really important to make sure that when you are setting up an item to sell, that you make sure to include a very comprehensive and accurate information list. For example, if you were selling a lamp, right? You want to make sure that you include the correct company name. You want to make sure you can correct, if there's an ID number or a UPC number or some kind of code on it, make sure you include that. In the past, we have listed items and on accident imposed numbers, which is a different product potentially in the same company's line. And, that could end up having an unhappy customer. Number 2, poor quality photos. So right now, low quality, unclear images. I'm sure you've seen the goofy pictures out on the internet with the inappropriate pictures. Those are pretty funny, so make sure you're fully dressed if your item's reflective, right? But by doing that, potential buyers may stray away and they're going to be like, well, I can't really see the condition of the item. I'll tell you that happens more often than not. So it's really important for you to go through and make sure you have good quality photos. If you have a cell phone, your cell phone can do high quality or pro photos. So I would highly encourage you to set it to the pro version and use those. Number 3, overpricing or underpricing. So by incorrectly pricing an item, it can either lead to slower sales because your price is way too high, or if you have it too low, someone might question, like, is there something wrong with it? The other thing is you could end up losing a lot of profit if all of a sudden you listed it, let's say $100 less than what it's worth. Somebody might take a chance on it and they might get a deal where you will lose out on that extra income. Number 4, ignoring shipping costs. Now, this is a huge one. When you go through and set up shipping on your eBay listing, just make sure that you put in the correct size and weight. Always overestimate a tad just to make sure. By underestimating it, you're going to end up losing part of your income because you're going to have to cover the cost of that item. Don't think that just because you put in the wrong shipping cost that then you're going to tell your buyers that they have to pay that additional. Think about eBay as a contract with you, and whatever you say you're shipping it for, that's on your end to make sure that you take care of that. The other thing too I've seen is, and I've done it on accident, if you forget to put in the size of the item, it can then cause a huge problem. If, let's say, it was a poster, but you put in that it's 0 by 0 by 0, well, now you've got an item that's potentially 30 inches long, and there is different shipping weights and costs that come associated with different widths and lengths of items. Not communicating. So if somebody emails you, a customer, and says, hey, I'm really interested in this, I have questions, by failing to respond promptly or not addressing any concerns, number 1, it can harm your reputation. Number 2, you might not get the sale. So it's really important to be watching for those types of communications. Number 6, inadequate packaging. I see this all the time. Not only do we sell, we also purchase. And oftentimes I have received items that are well beyond use because they are completely damaged due to poor packaging. That will encourage negative reviews and refunds needed. A couple of months ago, I actually had purchased a Scentsy plug-in light with like a little holder. And when it arrived, the person had actually put it inside of a plastic bag with bubble wrap. So, picture, if you will, this light was in a bag with bubble wrap. It's glass. All you need to do is literally look at it. Bubble wrap will never save it. So it arrived in about 1 million pieces, and obviously from there, I was able to take a picture to show how it was shipped and get a refund. So I felt bad, but it was one of those things that that's the way the seller shipped it. And unfortunately, they ended up losing out on not only the product that they had available to sell, but also the funds and shipping, because everything was not my fault. Ignoring customer feedback. Now, I'm going to tell you, I'm not a huge fan of eBay feedback, or a lot of websites' feedback, because you'll always notice that it's the person who screams and yells the loudest is the one that always leaves you feedback. But you'll get 500 people who will be amazing, and they'll never go out and leave feedback. So, watching your feedback, I mean, obviously, if you are not doing a good job as a seller, you're going to see consistent negative feedback. And at that point, you really should start addressing those issues and trying to solve the problem, because otherwise you'll end up not being able to sell on eBay or whatever platform it may be. Now, if it's one-off here and there, you know, you're never going to win everyone over, but definitely do the best that you can. Inconsistent listing descriptions. So if you have inconsistent or confusing descriptions, it could confuse buyers and create doubt with your credibility. So definitely watch out how you list your descriptions. Lack of competitive analysis. So not watching for other competitors' prices or offerings can result in less visibility or fewer sales. Now, I will tell you as a seller, something that we have encountered in the past is we'll find an item, let's just say it sells for $50, we sell it all day for $50, and then somebody comes in and goes, "Ooh, I can undercut them," and they put it up there for $10. You know, be reasonable when you are downsizing or downpricing items. You know, don't go crazy. Don't forget, you're taking out a whole lot of income you could have had too. So if I was selling it like crazy for 50, go for like 45, right? Make just a little bit less, just enough maybe to incorporate shipping in there. But don't undercut so much that now you've lost all of your income. Because wouldn't you rather make $40 on an item more than 10? Because by the time you take out fees and everything else, you're not in a great place. Inadequate customer service is the last thing I can tell you. That's number 10, and it's huge. Customer service isn't just sending emails. It is how you package up your item. How fast do you ship it? Are you ignoring returns? Are you... ? Right? So it's really important for you to go above and beyond in whatever you do, because you got to remember now Amazon has really set the standard and the bar extremely high for people, and they expect items yesterday. And unfortunately, with a small business or a resale store, Etsy, eBay, etc., it is just not realistic to compare yourself to them. Although, if you can provide that same kind of service where maybe a post office is very close to you and you can package up items and take them right over whenever items sell. What we have found is the faster we can get items shipped, the faster people get the items, and feedback comes back with mostly positives because of that. So, I hope that this inspired you. I hope that it got you thinking about things that maybe you haven't been doing as good as possible. But again, here's the thing. There is always room for growth. There's always room to learn. And as long as you are providing your seller or your buyers a good product for a good price, you will be just fine as long as you turn it around quickly and get it to them. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you learned something and are inspired, and will come back and visit us again soon. We're working our way toward 500 subscribers, and we would love to add you as one of them. So thank you again, and have a wonderful day. And if you have any questions, go ahead and comment those down below. We'd love to hear from you.